10,820 pounds wide body Sprinter with an outside kitchen, opposing middle living slides, awesome rear kitchen, and a wacky opposing slide bedroom, which if you think about it, 10,800 pounds for 4 slides on a wide body coach, not too awful bad. Coming in on trade here at Haylett RV, they swapped this out. They liked what they had. They just wanted bigger and more of it. Traded places with a Montana 372 High Country, which is one of those elevated rear living jobs with those cool sliding rear cargo trays. Quick look with the slides closed. Like a lot of rear kitchen RVs, or a middle living room as this one is referred to, that's the ML of the MLS. When the slides are closed up, it is a little bit difficult to navigate, but you see that little gap right there? If you really had to, you can come through, you can slide your legs between it, slide to the left, slide to the right, you can get in here, you can get back to the kitchen area, you can get through the living area, and I tell you, this thing's got some good looks. I think you're really going to like what you see when it's opened up. But the refrigerator is going to be exceptionally hard to get into without nudging the slide at least a few inches. I think if it's an emergency, like if you're diabetic and need insulin or something, for instance, you could pop that fridge, like move the slide a couple inches and then get into the fridge. Theoretically, I suppose you could do a little watermelon crawl down through here, and you could get back into the kitchen area to get to your cabinetry and stuff if you didn't want to open the slide. But I'm guessing you didn't buy a big fifth wheel like this with the intention of crawling around on the floor. That being said, a rear kitchen model like this where it really reigns supreme is when you reach your destination and open it up. These things are amazing for just getting to your destination and setting up shop versus traveling. I think rear living rooms are better for traveling, but a rear kitchen like this is destination heaven all day long. But as mentioned, this is really best suited for destination use, and that's actually the only reason why it's here. Previous owners were very happy with it. It treated them well. It's in great shape, man. This thing, if I just parked this out on the new RV lot, if I was a Sprinter dealer, you'd be like, oh, cool, you've got a new one. Like, I mean, it looks that good. I can't find anything that really concerns me on it, like, even small, really. I found a scuff inside of a cabinet. That's how picky I have to be to find anything on here. So, the folks were travelers, though. And this has an electric-only refrigerator with an inverter, so it stays running in transit, but it has all of the cabinetry all the way back here behind the axles. Have you guys ever seen those videos of a school bus, like when it hits a bump, and some kid's head goes smashing against the roof of the bus, and when he goes catapulting up off of their seat? That's the trick with rear kitchens. All of your storage is in the back behind the axle. So that stuff is just in complete disarray when you get to a destination. Previous owners apparently had some broken glasses and said, forget this, we want something with a middle kitchen where stuff won't bounce around. So if you're going to be planning on doing a lot of towing, that's the hiccup. Rear kitchens aren't the best for that. They're okay, I guess, but I mean, they work, but you just have to plan on how you pack. If you want to do a lot of destination use, you just want something parked somewhere, this thing has a very awesome layout, some good looks, some eye appeal, and excellent window coverage, which is something rear kitchens don't always get here. It also has a great living area, which is one of the reasons they call this a middle living, not a rear kitchen. But it's a rear kitchen, so we're going to talk about the kitchen. And we are going to talk about the fact that this thing has some great storage capacity. We're going to start over here in the slide out. This is a huge pantry, and I love not only is it deep, but it's wide, it's easy to access. These handy little wire hangers at the bottom making it so you've got a lot of space for like little boxy things too, you know? Over here, again, this is an electric-only refrigerator. It does have a 1,000-watt inverter so that you can run it going down the road. It's not that you can't travel with this, it's just that it tends to play nicer when you are using it for destination purposes. Cool thing though, it is 18 cubic feet, so it is a larger storage area. Now over here on the rear wall, aesthetically this is really really slick. Like that overhead like stovetop vent hood, it looks really neat. It makes you feel like you're at home, and I love the dual side counters on each side of that stovetop, each with their own set of outlets. It's very like coffee maker friendly. There's some very good things going on here. Now the eye candy of that vent hood does take away from potential cabinet space, and I've never had anyone ever say that there's too much cabinet space in any RV. But I also feel if we start looking around here, I mean, you've got 8 drawers, more like, you know, big sheet pan storage below the oven over there, huge cabinet space over here. I don't think anyone is really going to argue that there's already not enough cabinet space in here, plus that big pantry we looked at. Before we spin around, I want to look up top, right above the kitchen where we're doing the bulk of the cooking. We do have a max air vent fan, which is a genius addition to this floor plan. We also have this nice skylight up top here. It does have a shade drawn on it, so if you don't want to feel like an ant under a magnifying glass, you won't get cooked by it. Then over here, oh, by the way, that max air vent fan that I pointed out, there is a wall control switch for that. It's just located right over here. So, you know, you don't have to go all the way up to the master control panel to open or close that vent fan or turn it off and on. It's all pretty easy to access. Now, what's really cool here, I mentioned it that rear kitchens don't usually get good campside window coverage. But check that beast out, that huge picture window. Plus, if you're sitting on either the theater seat or the sofa, you've got cross breeze windows and great campside visibility there if somebody knocks on the door. So this one does overcome a lot of challenges that rear kitchens usually face. Now down here, this is that one thing, like every RV has to have that one thing that helps separate it. And the way that they've done this sort of elevated bar with the chairs right here, this is the Sprinter's one thing in this rear kitchen. And it's cool. It does have a neat look to it. It is very fun. I think that this floor plan would be awesome for folks who like to have guests that visit. Not necessarily, like it would, not that it wouldn't work for people who just want to be left alone, but you've got some awesome entertainment space here. Like everybody knows there's that one campsite bartender, am I right? You could really set up shop here and have yourself one heck of a margarita station going to town. Also, while we are looking at the kitchen over here, these are all solid surface counters in the kitchen. They're not all beat up, scarred up. I like the dual bamboo sink covers over that stainless farm sink so you can actually get big stuff in there to clean it. And to make cleaning it easy, you've got this nice high-rise faucet. The only area of this RV that shows any sort of use or wear at all is the kitchen. And on the surface level, you don't see any of it. The only thing I mentioned that I saw like a scuff inside a cabinet. Like they had something in there that scuffed it a little bit in transit. I mean, that's how picky I have to get, guys. But what, this is like, what, a 2018? I mean, you're getting a virtually new RV at a well-used price tag. If the worst thing I can say about it is there's a scuff inside of a cabinet, then I would say we're doing well. We've also got this great entertainment system set up here. It's what I like to call the no-neck wrecker, where the dual reclining cinema seating, those wall huggers, they're directly across from this TV. And if you didn't know any better, you would not realize the previous owners did a little surgery on the entertainment center. It's easy to miss this. Like you look at it, and you're like, what do you mean? Well, I don't think that's necessarily the original TV, or if it is, they did something else to it. But the fact is, this is not just a soundbar. It does have an integrated DVD player. And what tipped me off to it is I noticed how I could actually see the DVD box portion sticking out the back of it, which isn't normally the case. And then I got to looking around. That used to be recessed, sunken back, and mounted further back. They just did a little bit of rearranging here to bring that forward. Not sure what, not sure why. It could have been that they installed a larger TV than was in this originally. I'm not a Sprinter dealer. I'm a Keystone dealer. This is a cousin to the Cougars that we carry. So, I mean, I know my way around this pretty well, but the ultra super specifics of this floor plan, not being a Sprinter dealer, it's just not something that I'm really, you know, buffed on right now. But the fact is, there's not a single thing that concerns me here. I think they put a bigger TV in, which is what caused them to move the soundbar. But the fact is, I don't care that they moved the soundbar. It still looks fine. And if that means I get a bigger TV, sweet! I'm totally fine with that. Down below, electric space heating fireplace with some LED heatless visuals. And another neat thing here is that very home-style staircase leading up to your private bed and bath deck. And the fact that if you use the hide-a-bed right in front of it, you won't cut the camper off when the hide-a-bed is in use. And that really helps make this thing guest-friendly. Because those hide-a-beds, they're good for more than just the grandkids. Now they'll fit the grandkids just fine. You can put 2 2 of them on there easy, 3 if they're littles, but littles tend to thrash their legs and bodies around at night and keep each other awake, so 2 would be better. I also discovered something over here. These, when you recline them, they will hug the wall, but if you try to lie back, they are not full, true wall huggers, so you might have to shimmy that away from the wall a little bit. Apparently, that's one of those minor little unforeseen cost-saving items that goes into something like the Sprinter that the Cougar spends a little extra money on, apparently. I just, again, learned that. Extra door handle added on here so that you're not pulling on this and ripping off that little panel. And all of our controls right here by the door, handy, easy to access. And I like that they're backlit. It just makes it easier to find your panel at night if you walk in the dark. And you do have this handy dandy little remote control here. Nobody ever changes the pin. But you can activate and control your auto leveling, your slides, your lights, all kinds of stuff right here wirelessly, which is very nice if you're setting up camp by yourself. Or, what if I'm standing here? Like, I have buttons to open and close the bedroom slide right here. But tell me how standing right here, I can visibly line of sight that slide out to make sure it's going to close unobstructed. And you obviously can't. But you get that little wireless remote control. I could walk right up here into the bedroom and I could hit that remote control button to open or close these slide outs to make sure that maybe, what if that drawer down there was left open and you tried to close that slide? You'd smash the crap out of it. And you could screw up your slide mechanism. And that ain't going to be cheap to fix. But that little remote control could save you some serious repair money. As long as we're here, might as well talk about the bedroom. How about the fact that the previous owners did add a second air conditioner? Now this is a drop-in air, which makes me think that this was added probably at the dealer level. Whoever sold them this RV didn't seem to put the second air on it from the factory, which with 4 slides I think is just ignorance. But neither here nor there. Obviously the previous owners knew what they were doing, even if the dealership didn't. Over here, we've got a king bed, 70 by 80. But funny story on this. When this RV was built, it had a 70 by 80 king bed. Previous owners swapped it out for their own 13-inch thick, crazy nice residential mattress. And they swapped that mattress into the Montana they just bought. So ladies and gentlemen, you will be enjoying the benefit of a brand new, never before slept on, still in the bag, as it were, king bed with a nice little pillow top on here. Not too bad. You got a Montana king bed here in this Sprinter. Now we've got full front wall storage capacity here. We've got great dresser space. And this is interesting. They have opposing slides in this bedroom. Over here you've got a handy little bench where you could sit down to put on a pair of boots or pants, or boots and pants and boots and pants. And there is storage below that. There's also an additional dresser space over here with some extra storage space. And you might notice dual tilt open, rainy day friendly windows over here. So it gives this bedroom a pretty spacious look and feel without being exceptionally big or long. It also looks like the previous owners went through and added a nice TV up here. It is also on a handy swing out bracket. So if you do want that thing to face down over here anytime, you really can. You can make it pivot anywhere you want. Big hallway window here for airflow, and pardon me, I'm a little outside about. I normally do bathrooms before I get to bedrooms, but hey, never mind. Now this bathroom is actually very, very reminiscent of a toy hauler bathroom. You don't tend to see them laid out like this too much in non-toy hauler fifth wheels, but it's very effective. We've got excellent linen space over here. On our toilet paper holder, we've got the handy, what is this, strawberry rear view pine tree. You know, very intelligently positioned. Now we've also got a one-piece seamless self-reinforced fiberglass shower, which is an interesting find at this segment and price point. They actually spent a lot of money in this shower. Apparently the money they didn't spend on the theater seat, which frankly is still fine. They could have spent, they must have spent up here, and you also have a stainless sink up here. So there are some really neat, interesting things going on, and another intelligent feature, they put the heat vent here in the bathroom in that cabinet as opposed to the floor, so you don't have to worry about dripping anything down into it, or, I don't know, potentially dribbling. Yuck. Just like the interior, exterior looks basically brand new. I can't find any sort of scuffs or bumps or bruises or scabs or scars, or you get the point. No fading, no peeling, etc. Easy to miss thing on these Sprinters is they went wide body. They weren't always wide body, but in like 2012, Sprinter became a 100-inch wide body product. It was sort of Keystone's idea of kind of tackling open ranges wide body platform. They created a wide body division. They have the core Keystones like your Cougars, Montanas, etc. Then they have the wide body variants like your Alpine Avalanche Sprinters. That's what these kind of are. So that's to maybe give you a little bit of information, one versus the other. I think there used to be one of those cheap plastic holdbacks right here, because I see some screws, and it looks like the previous owners took those out and went to a more traditional clip to keep the door up out of the way a little bit further. We're going to look at the pass-through on the other side, no worries there. Simple water and cable docking station. This does have enclosed, insulated, heated underbelly. You know, not too terribly dissimilar from most big fifth wheels that way. I see the larger 16-inch tires over here getting the job done. And like a lot of Keystones, they have that triple sealed slide system with the walkable slide roofing. If you're not familiar with that, there's always at least 2 wiper seals in contact with the slide at any time. Plus, when it's fully opened or closed, you will also gain the benefit of a interior or exterior bulb seal. I mentioned inside, but to kind of point it out while we're out here where it's a little more obvious, this does have a full auto leveling system, which is a handy little feature there so that you don't have to do a lot of manual wrestling with this. Although I do think it's a little bit funny, just me going off script a little bit here. The RV industry and fifth wheels existed for the better part of 50 years without auto leveling, and we all got along just fine, and now suddenly it's like if you don't have it, everybody's up in a big panic over it. But hey, neither here nor there. The fact is, it is handy and convenient. The taper on the rear here, it did kind of cut the awning down a little bit. And with the outside kitchen under that awning, plus the extension on that door, you don't really have a lot of picnic table space, so you're probably going to have a picnic table back here, not necessarily under cover, but most of the campsites I'm at, my picnic table's not under cover anyway, so I'm okay with that. You do have a gas grill quick connect down there, so you can have, you know, a couple different outside cook situations going on. You do have the larger outside fridge, handy cooktop, and the cabinetry inside here. This is actually where I started to notice how they had done a little surgery on the entertainment center. That DVD portion of the soundbar used to stick out right here, and apparently they didn't like that. They didn't like the inside to outside exchange, so they simply shoved it forward a little bit, paneled that off, closed it off, and good to go. Another thing I noticed, they did run their own outside TV hookup out here, so that's really like the only modification that they applied to this camper, but it works. I mean, what more do you want? Also, handy MORryde steps, which are a big-time fan favorite, and the 4 steps so that you have less room between each plank. That is an anti-slam entry door as well, so the wind won't whip that thing around. And this is not a drop frame, but good gravy, it does have a large belly. And I also noticed some of these panels were knocked out here, so frankly, I mean, it would be the easiest thing to get to, but the fact is you do have more space back there. If you're careful with what you do, you could pack a few more things in that area. But overall, this thing's clean. You know, it was used, it was well kept, it just didn't do what the previous owners needed it to do, so they swapped it out for one that did. Not terribly unhappy with what I see here, frankly. I think she's pretty sharp. I like getting nice, clean, used trades like this. It's nice when you don't have to apologize for something. So, give us a call, guys. Whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between. We do it all at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Oh, crap! Max Air vent covers on the roof, by the way. Probably should have mentioned that sooner.